Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because today, I'm sharing one of the most bizarre situations I've ever experienced. Trust me, this story gets weird, really fast. So, buckle up, grab some snacks, because we're going on a journey that involves technology, relationships, and one of the strangest consequences of buying used electronics I could have never predicted. About 3 months ago, I decided it was time to upgrade my phone. You know how it is, the battery dies by noon. Every app takes forever to load, and your once great camera now looks ancient. I wasn't about to drop $1,000 on a brand new phone, so I did what millions of people do. I went shopping for a used one. After days of searching, I found the perfect dealer phone just a year old, in excellent condition, for almost half the price. I met the seller at a coffee shop. The transaction was smooth, the phone was pristine, and the guy seemed genuinely nice. I went home, super excited, and did a factory reset, or at least I thought I did. For the first few weeks, everything was perfect. The phone was fast, the camera was amazing, and I felt so smart for saving all that money. I was telling everyone what a great deal I got, but then something strange started happening. I began receiving text messages that were clearly not for me. At first, it was just one, late at night. "Hey, I know it's late, but I really need to talk. Call me." I figured it was a wrong number, so I replied, "I think you have the wrong number." The response came back instantly. "Wait, is this not Jake?" And that's when it hit me. Jake must be the previous owner. I explained that I'd bought the phone used, and that was that. Or so I thought. The next day, another text from a different number. "Jake, we need to reschedule Tuesday's appointment." Then came more messages. Reminders about a birthday party, someone asking if he was still mad, even a text from his mom asking if he was coming home for the weekend. Every single time, I had to explain that I wasn't Jake. Some people were understanding, others seemed annoyed, like I was playing some kind of prank. It was getting weird, but it was about to get much, much weirder. About a month in, the messages became more personal, more urgent. One from a Sarah said, "I've been thinking about what you said. We need to talk about us. Miss you." Another from Mike Work said, "Dude, you left your laptop at my place again. Also, the boss is asking about that report." Then came the one that really creeped me out. "I saw you at the mall yesterday. Why didn't you say hi? Are you avoiding me?" At this point, I realized something was seriously wrong. These texts were too frequent, too personal. It seemed like Jake's entire social circle was still trying to reach him at this number. Why hadn't he told anyone he'd changed it? I felt like I was getting an intimate, uninvited window into a stranger's life. I tried everything to make it stop, responded to every message, contacted my phone carrier, but nothing worked. They assured me the number was mine. Then, about 2 months after buying the phone, I received a message from Sarah that changed everything. It said, "Jake, please stop ignoring me. I know you're getting these messages. I can see they're delivered. You can't just disappear on people like this. We deserve better." My heart just sank. Jake hadn't just forgotten to tell people his new number. He was intentionally ghosting everyone in his life. He had deliberately bought a new phone with a new number and just vanished. Suddenly, all the messages made sense. The concerned friends, the frustrated coworkers, the hurt family members, they were all dealing with someone who had cut them off without a single word. And I was the accidental recipient of all their confusion, pain, and frustration. The messages got even more desperate. Sarah sent long paragraphs about their relationship. His mom sent increasingly worried texts, asking if he was okay, if he was in trouble. She even called me, in tears, asking why her son was doing this. When I tried to explain, she accused me of lying, of covering for him. It was heartbreaking and infuriating. I was just some random guy who bought a used phone, now being dragged into someone else's messy life. I even tried to find Jake myself on social media, but it was a dead end. He clearly didn't want to be found. Gradually, the messages became less frequent. I think people were finally starting to accept that Jake was gone. Sarah sent one last text that said, "I hope you find whatever you're looking for, and I hope it was worth losing everyone who cared about you." His mom's final message was just, "Please be safe. I love you always." That one really got to me. Now, 3 months later, the messages have mostly stopped, but this whole experience has really made me think. Our phone numbers are like digital addresses connecting us to our entire world. When someone just disappears, it leaves a huge void. It also made me think about the ethics of ghosting. While I get needing a fresh start, the way Jake did it felt so cold, abandoning everyone who cared about him without any closure. So, what's the lesson here? If you're buying a used phone, maybe consider getting a completely new number. It might save you from becoming an unwilling participant in a stranger's drama. And if you're changing your number, please, just tell the important people in your life. Don't just vanish. Somewhere out there, a random person who bought your old phone might end up dealing with the emotional fallout. Thanks for listening to my crazy story. Have you ever had a weird experience buying something used? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ever since I was little, I've loved the idea of buried treasure. You know, finding a dusty old box in the attic filled with forgotten letters, or discovering a hidden map tucked inside a secondhand book. There's something magical about uncovering the stories and secrets left behind by strangers, but I never imagined my own treasure hunt would start with a refurbished smartphone and lead me into the messy, digital ghost story of a man I'd never met. It all began about 6 months ago. My old phone, bless its circuits, finally gave up the ghost after one too many drops. I'm not really a latest and greatest tech person, so spending $1,000 on a new device felt ridiculous. Instead, I did what any budget-conscious person would do. I hit the internet and found a great deal on a nearly new factory reset phone. It looked pristine, worked perfectly, and I was thrilled with my savvy purchase. For about a week, everything was normal. I set up my apps, transferred my contacts, and enjoyed the zippy new processor, the digital equivalent of that new car smell. Then the first message came. It was a simple, "Hey, you up?" from a number I didn't recognize. I figured it was just a wrong number and ignored it. But then another one popped up a few hours later from the same person. "Jake, seriously, call me. It's important." "Okay, weird. My name isn't Jake." I politely texted back. "Sorry, I think you have the wrong number. This is a new phone for me." The person apologized, and I thought that was the end of it. Oh, how wrong I was. Over the next few days, the trickle of messages for Jake turned into a flood. There were texts from Mom, asking if he was eating properly and if he'd heard back about that job. There were messages from someone labeled Bro, filled with inside jokes and links to funny videos. And then there were the messages from Chloe, and these were intense. They swung from furious, "How could you just disappear?" to heartbreakingly sad, "I just miss you. Please, just tell me you're okay." It slowly dawned on me what was happening. The previous owner of my phone, this Jake, hadn't just sold his phone. He had vanished. He'd ghosted everyone in his life, and I had just bought his digital front door. At first, I tried to be the responsible new homeowner. With every new message, I'd send a polite, copy-pasted response. "Hi, my apologies, but this is no longer Jake's number. I'm the new owner of this phone. I don't know how to reach him." Most people were understanding, a little confused, but accepted it. But some, especially his family and Chloe, were persistent. "Do you know him? Did he sell it to you directly? Can you tell us anything?" It felt like I was being interrogated in a missing persons case. I started to feel a strange mix of annoyance and guilt. I didn't ask for this drama, but their desperation was palpable. The real turning point came from Jake's mom. One evening, I received a long, rambling message from her. She talked about how worried she was, how Jake had been struggling lately, and how it wasn't like him to just cut contact. She ended the message with, "If you are a real person and not Jake, just pretending, please just let me know if you hear from him. My heart is broken not knowing if my son is safe." Reading that, my annoyance melted away. This wasn't just digital noise. It was real human pain being sent to my phone. I couldn't just ignore it. So, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I started engaging. I replied to his mom, assuring her I wasn't Jake, but that if he ever did contact this number by mistake, I would absolutely let her know. I told her I hoped she'd hear from him soon and that he was okay. It was a small gesture, but it felt like the only human thing to do. This opened a very strange door. I became an accidental go-between, a weird sort of digital medium for the ghost of Jake. His mom would occasionally message me, not asking for Jake, but just to talk, as if I was the last link to her son. She'd tell me about her week, or share a memory of Jake as a kid. It was incredibly sad. Chloe messaged a few more times too, but her messages grew more resigned. One day she sent a final, long paragraph that was clearly meant for him. It was a goodbye. She wrote about the good times they had, how much she loved him, but that she couldn't keep waiting for a ghost. She had to move on for her own sanity. She ended it with, "I hope you find whatever you're looking for, Jake. Goodbye." And then, she never messaged again. I felt like I had just read the final page of someone else's diary. It was so intimate and raw, and I was a complete stranger who happened to have the right phone number. Through all these fragmented conversations, I started to piece together a picture of Jake. He was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's best friend, someone's love. He was clearly loved and clearly missed. But he was also, it seemed, someone who ran away from his problems and left a trail of hurt in his wake. I found myself feeling this bizarre mix of emotions. I was angry at Jake for his cowardice, for putting these people through so much pain. How could someone just sever all ties without a word? At the same time, I felt a strange sort of empathy. What was he going through that made him feel like disappearing was his only option? Washe okai? The question echoed the ones his family was asking. I, a total stranger, was now worried about Jake. As for me, I've thought about changing my numbers several times, getting a fresh start without Jake's history attached to it. But at this point, the messages have mostly stopped, and going through the hassle of updating all my own contacts, notifying my work, my bank, all my accounts. It seems like more trouble than it's worth. Plus, in a weird way, I feel like I owe it to Jake's people to be here, to let them know what happened, to give them the closure that he never did. Maybe that's weird. Maybe I'm too invested in the problems of people I've never met, but after months of being their accidental connection to someone they lost, I feel responsible somehow. I feel like someone should care about their feelings, even if Jake doesn't. Anyway, that's my complete story of buying a used phone and becoming the unwilling messenger. Between a ghost and all the people he left behind, it's been a truly strange journey into the ethics of our digital lives and the very real impact of ghosting. Have you ever had a similar experience with a used phone, or do you have thoughts about digital ethics and ghosting culture? Drop a comment below. I would genuinely love to hear your stories and perspectives. And hey, if you made it this far in the video, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for listening to my weird tale. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because who knows what other strange situations I'll end up in next time. Until then, take care, be kind to the people in your life, and maybe think twice before buying that used phone. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.